Hannah from Ellicott City asks, what exactly do you plan to do in pursuit of sustainability and conservation in terms of the fight against fossil fuels and climate change? Your priority pages only mention declaring an emergency, Hannah in Ellicott City. This is a great question, and it's something that we're actively working on. So let me say a couple of things here. The reason that we say that we want to declare an emergency is because we think that these things are urgent. And we saw during the COVID state of emergency how quick the government and the state of Maryland can act if there's a state of emergency on something. So what we would like to see is, if we get elected, we would like to see, we'd declare an emergency right away. We'd tell the General Assembly to work on things like pollution on our waterways, agricultural pollution, environmental racism, emissions, transportation. And if they didn't act in a way that was meeting the needs of the communities that are most threatened by this right now, we would begin to take executive action immediately after the session is over to address those things with the things that we know the communities say work. So that's why we focus on emergency as the mechanism. But I think it goes beyond that. We want to take power, or we want to take the power grid back from the electrical companies and build out reliable and extensible renewable power across the state of Maryland. A couple of weeks ago, we had Shane Robinson on, who was talking about his plan in 2018 to build the Maryland-based capacity for renewables. And we would love to see a plan like that be brought back up so that we're not buying credits for renewable energy and calling it renewable. Last week, we talked to Pat Elder, who is an internationally renowned expert on PFAS and water contamination. So we're going to be working with Pat in order to come up with a policy to talk about wastewater and the Potomac and in all of our other waterways. We are also, as we said before, going to ban hyperscale data centers and make sure that those are no longer part of what we do in Maryland. We're going to end the co-location of coal in Curtis Bay and in other communities. And all of this is part of a set of energy and environment policies that we expect to be releasing this spring. So Hannah, we'll have more on some of these things coming very soon. And the energy policy, the environment policy, they're all on tap in March. And there are all things that we think Greens have to be at the center of. And for a lot of that is about power, but not all of it is about power. Some of it is about water, but not all of it is about water. Some of it is about agriculture and land use, but not all of it is. So I think this is a really good question. And I appreciate it when folks hone in on these things where we have not caught up with the things that are important to them yet. And it is good for us to have that reminder that we need to get that stuff out. It's in the hopper and it's ready to come out, but we want to get it out so that you can, see it, and then we can discuss it and share it on this show and beyond.
Yeah, it's a great question. Also, Hannah, I think the priorities page on the website is due for an update, and that part in particular, we're working on it. We've been talking about it on the show and in other platforms, some of the different sustainability pieces and environmental justice policies that we want to put forward. And we've been having guests on who focus on some of these topics. I also think we want to do it right, and that's why we're taking our time with it. But we also, both of us, have a pretty long track record before this campaign on some of these issues too. So, working on a bill in Baltimore City to ban gas stations, work that I did around developing the Maryland Green New Deal proposal. So these aren't things that we've pulled into the campaign at this point, but I think it's worth checking our receipts too on the long haul organizing we've done around environmental justice, publishing the list of all the state delegates and senators who took funding from the trash incinerators across the state. This is the kind of stuff that we've been involved in. And yes, we definitely need to flesh out this plank of our platform, and we will. We're committed to it.
Yep. So if you got questions, go to gogreen2026.com/questions, and we will try to address them on here. We may not answer them fully to make you happy. We always expect the people to engage and back and forth with us on the social medias or on the YouTube. So if you hear us say something and you're like, yeah, that's close, but not good enough, tell us. Or if you have an idea for something you'd like to see us incorporate, tell us that too. I think the one thing I didn't mention is that we've been working with Michelle, who's a green out in Western Maryland, on some policy to deal with some of the things that come about as byproducts of the fracking industry here. We have a fracking moratorium in Maryland, but that doesn't mean that fracking materials and fracking processes are not running through the state of Maryland. If all the states surrounding us are engaging in fracking, it's going through Maryland. And so one of the other things that will be in our policy is what we do in order to actually make our ban a real ban, so that Maryland isn't dealing with the consequences of the fracking industry and just pretending, by just banning one part of it, but is actually protecting our citizens from that toxic industry and what's going on with it.
Yeah, and send us your ideas. Like Andy said, I just want to reemphasize that if you have policies that you think should be in our platforms, send them our way. We'd love to review them.